Now, I've seen a lot of grand projects in my time, but my own dream has always been just to find myself a beautiful bit of woodland, roll my sleeves up and build myself my own little bolt hole, really, a place in the wild, you know, somewhere to escape the madness of the modern world. I've built the shed of my imagination. It's the mother shed! But my cabin's nowhere near finished. Ought to feel like a home. It's civilized, but it needs some bespoke furniture and comfort. Everything in it should be unique, should be a one-off, should be made, should be fantastical. I'm building everything with my own hands from recycled materials.
You might be able to use that.
And waste. That's my kind of poo. Nothing's off limits. Fart gas. They're producing it on NASA scale here. To spend proper time in my cabin, I'll need a means of cooking. Whey! And somewhere comfortable to sit.
Ooh. Oh, hello.
Wow. This is astonishing. There'll be no Wi-Fi. The only tweeting in the forest will be the sound of birds. I'm interested in ingenious solutions to make my cabin comfortable and cozy. Primitive memory foam.
This is how the future should be, really.
So, I'm kitting out my cabin in the woods. For the past 8 months, I've been hand-building my cabin in the woods, using only available or discarded materials. This is not a vanity project. It's about me experimenting with reducing, reusing, and recycling. Recycling all my waste. So far, I've transformed an old jewellery safe into a wood-burning stove. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Oh, yes. Oh, Puffing Billy.
There we go.
And I've made glass from scratch for my cabin window. It's magical. Love it. That is a triumph. The trick is to build a shed in the woods which is comfortable, which is off-grid, not connected to any services, but which at the same time offers you all the modern-day comforts to which we're all used to, because otherwise you end up not going there, you end up not spending time there. I think it's important to feel looked after and warm and comfortable. I want to now introduce some familiar comforts to my shed. Comforts that we take every day for granted. But it's going to take a degree of cunning and some expertise to make all the furnishings and cooking facilities I need to make the cabin homely. Shelf is up and ready to receive. These are just a few essentials, you know? I may not have any furniture yet, but I got my books in. We've got the shell, and it's a beautiful shell, but it is just a husk. The real bummer is that the shed is so beautifully made and so elegant, I can't get away putting some cheap rubbish in there. It's what I put in there has to actually be, it has to elevate the interior further. It has to be even better than everything made so far. That's the difficulty. The two most important pieces of furniture for my dwelling are a chair that's both comfortable and elegant, and a bed for the occasional kip. On a practical note, I also need somewhere to answer the call of nature and a completely self-sufficient way of cooking. As I spend more time working down at the shed, getting a hot meal is becoming really important. I've struggled over an open fire in the rain, and I don't want to buy bottles of propane gas. I have, however, had a moment of inspiration. Oh. So much of this project is about reusing waste, and so much of our lives is spent producing waste that we don't profitably use. And I thought, could we not do two things in one here? Could we not both provide a toilet, an amenity, a service, a place of rest, but also use it to produce some biogas? Biogas is used for cooking all over the developing world. It's a methane-rich alternative to natural gas. One way to produce it is to feed toilet waste into a large, airtight chamber where bacteria slowly break down the pooey slurry, giving off methane. Many rural Indian and African families are completely reliant on biogas to provide for all their cooking needs. The theory is simple, but I've got no idea how to make this work properly, so I'm off to North Wales on a fact-finding mission. I've heard about this man who extracts methane from poo, which you can burn. I don't know how he does it, I don't know the technique. I'm very interested to learn. What I do know is, however, he doesn't use human poo. He uses dog poo. This experimental poo power scheme is the brainchild of former banker Gary Downey. This is one of your stations?
Yes, that's the dog station. We're going to collect the dog waste from here and we're going to turn it into energy.
How much dog poo is there? I mean, not here, but I mean across the whole country.
Well, in the UK wide, we reckon that there are between 1,000 to 1,200 tons of dog waste created every day.
How much methane could you get out of 1,200 tons?
Quite a lot. One average dog sitting equals the electrical energy to make 2 cups of tea or coffee.
That is astonishing. I'm interested to find out how this works, but first we need some raw material. Oh, that's disgusting. That's wet, that one. OK, I'm going in. I know from experience, it's bad enough. When it's somebody else's dog, it's like picking up somebody else's poo. Has he done one yet?
Yes, he did one over there.
Oh, I think I've already got him. 1,200 tons of poo from dogs a day in Britain. That would power an awful lot of stoves. Ah, that's my kind of poo. That is my kind of poo. I call them soft stools. That was a joy to pick up. I'm interested to see how much gas you can get out of, you know, a bag full of poo. How much energy is in this? The answer lies down the road, where I'm taking my haul of doggy-doos to be processed at the poo power station. Whoa! No, that's not it, is it? My godfathers. If that tank is full of poo making biogas, then they're producing it on a sort of NASA scale here. This place already transforms cow dung into biogas on an industrial scale. But they've recently started to explore the potential of dog muck as a source of free energy. Aha! The nerve centre of poo. Engineer Jonathan Tomlinson is the owner. So here, in that big tank, you are digesting poo.
Yep, cow muck just goes in that.
Are you then turning that into electricity?
At the moment, we've got one 80-kilowatt generator running flat out.
And that would be enough to power a large housing estate.
Well, enough to power 160 houses.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
A small village.
John's system is the most advanced in the UK. Now I'm going to see for myself how it's done using the experimental dog poo digester. That's my collection. That's my little bag from this morning. I was hoping we might just kind of be able to somehow cleanly just drop the bag
Dip it in? No, afraid not.
No, you have to empty it all out.
It all has to be done manually. We've got to get it into a paste so we can pour it in, so as soon as it goes in, it starts to digest.
A paste. I know what's coming. Mmm. That's not a nice one.
That's the consistency you want, so that's the good stuff. We walk over to the tap, so about 3/4 full. Start squelching.
Do you know what? I can do this, I just can't look at it. Once in the system, bacteria will break down my poo paste in a process called anaerobic digestion. That's bubbling. You can hear it. Fart gas.
We can boil some water.
Make some tea, some dog poo tea. Whoa! Look at that. What a perfect flame. What I come away with is this overbearing sense of how incredibly wasteful we are and how incredibly inefficient we are at managing the resources that we've got.
Shall I be mother?
Please be mother. That's a good rolling boil, as they say, which is what I like to see. What's that whiff?
Is there a Thai poo joke coming up now?
So much easier, isn't it, just to go and buy another can of propane. So much easier to install another gas pipeline across Russia. And yet on our doorstep is all this stuff we could use. What's wrong with us? My cabin's nowhere near an urban park with poop bins, so I'll be using my own poo. Whoa! But making biogas from personal waste is going to be quite a big job. My cabin project is now 8 months on. So far, everything's being crafted, recycled, or repurposed. The fun of making things is trying, is having a go, you know, and learning from the failures as much as rejoicing in the successes. But the shed of my imagination should be more than a shell. It should be a comfortable mini home in which I can cook on gas from poo. That's bubbling.
Oh, look, it's Widget.
Hello, Widgets.
Now I'm going to attempt to build my own biogas system for the cabin, which I want to be powered by my team's own poo. Right.
That'll do.
I've got hold of an oil drum, which will form the sit-on part of the toilet.
Well, we've got to get the watery poo from here
Into
to a biodigester. Now, I think we've definitely got to use the slope to get from one to the other.
I reckon we've got to dig a hole, don't you
Because
think?
otherwise you'll be basically pooing in what will look like a watchtower.
Yeah, in order to get the full.
Yeah. He's going to drop a deposit into the tank, which is then going to flow down a pipe.
Does this work by gravity, then?
Yes.
This pipe will take the watery poo into a second larger chamber, which will gradually fill up. Inside this large chamber, the slurry should gradually break down anaerobically, giving off methane.
This is your elevated reading position.
Yeah. We've devised our own second tank, designed out of other people's rubbish. Braced?
Yeah.
Our plan is to make it from an offcut of sewer pipe and an old water tank.
Right, should we try this on the other bit first?
Oh!
Look at that. That
It's lovely.
is what you could call blooming perfect.
Just like those huge urban gas holders, the chamber will slide up and down as it fills and empties with gas. There you go.
Let's go for it. Tip it up to me.
To you.
To me.
To you.
To me.
That's it, you, that's it. That's it.
Whoa!
Can you just check the bottom edge?
It's okay.
Just check the bottom.
Oh, no!
I've no idea if this is going to work or not. While Kev the pipe lives up to his name and plumbs in the poo pipes, I turn my attention to the more lavish creature comforts of my cabin. Filling the shed with extraordinary inventive contraptions is exciting, but actually fundamentally what this is about is also providing some modicum of comfort. It's about being able to enjoy the space in a civilized way. I've got this porch, and I've got that view, and I just think it would be really nice to sit and enjoy that view on a chair which is weatherproof, you know. I haven't got such a thing, so the obvious thing is to make one. An easy chair, recliner. You might think reclining chairs are a product of the modern TV dinner generation, but it was the master furniture makers of the 18th century who developed the concept. Emperor Napoleon owned one. And in 1920, the recliner went mainstream when two American farmers used scrap orange crates to make an adjustable porch chair. They called it the Lazy Boy. Chairs have retained an iconic status amongst designers and architects, and you're no real architect until you've designed a chair. I aim to sort of subvert that idea by recycling an object into a chair.
That looks perfect.
Yeah.
I'm interested in whether you could build the equivalent of the Lazy Boy out of the kind of scrap that would have been familiar to those old farm hands.
A little rusty.
Well, yeah, but apparently it still rolls and maybe...
Well, it's a rolling chassis, at the very least. With the help of Will and scrap designer Paul Furbank, we might have found just the object.
Are we happy that this is the one thing for the job?
The tractor's knackered,
Left a bit.
but it's a Meccano set of parts which we can scavenge. There is no handbrake.
No, just sit your foot under the tyre.
It's already feeding my imagination. But you see this shape here, which is the front axle, and these become legs, so that sits on the ground there. Take, that half and that half, and you bolt and plate them together. And then this, which is amazingly enough, okay, so on a tractor, it's got the arm at the back holding the plough, and this is the linkage, and this is connected to the tractor. Well, if we take that off and turn it sideways, you can see there's a kind of chair, deck chair shape. With the design roughed out, we're going to take this rust bucket apart and start building.
Mind your fingers. All right, now lift it off.
This isn't just about repurposing, this is about actually creating beauty. I mean, pure, fabulous beauty from scrap. I mean, I really like it when you take something and you reuse it, that's great. But when you turn something into an object which is infinitely more beautiful in its new incarnation than in its old, then there's something magical about that.
Tell you what, in a Frankenstein sort of way.
Yeah. That looks like a chair.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
I have to say, it does. It feels good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it feels really good. It's just the basic chair structure and nowhere near finished, but it's an encouraging start. Gosh, that's beautiful. The moment you move out to the margins, you are in the realms of the experimental, which makes the journey much more enjoyable. And actually, if it works, you end up with something really strong and unusual and powerful, and which is a first on the planet. Back on site, the biodigester poo-to-methane plant needs finishing. On the supply side, that is. I thought we'd do 4 corner posts and then a bars in between. This is all about getting poo with the view that delivers at the same time a moment of privacy, because otherwise, sat here, you might feel a bit exposed. I don't think it wants to be too high. I mean, if I stood here, I can't see your bits. With a modesty screen in place, we can begin to make our serious contributions to the project. The poo flows through a pipe into the large second chamber, where it should start to break down. However, with just our measly few deposits, it's going to take months before we can start producing gas.
How was that, Kevin?
Rather public, since you're here. To kickstart this system, we need high-octane poo to produce shed loads of methane, ideally from carnivores, not cows. So we're off on safari. We've come to the glorious, beautiful 500-acre place, which is Longleat, which is next door to where the shed is, to find some poo. And the best kind of poo is poo from an animal which has eaten meat. Going for the number plate.
Get it.
But thieving monkey poo isn't for me. Oi! Oi! Stop that! Only the king of the beasts can provide the ultra-meaty, protein-rich poo capable of mega-methane production. Ian Turner, Deputy Head Warden, is here to protect us as we hunt for dumps.
Lions just do it all over the place. We'll have to go on a bit of a wander and look for that. I've been here 35 years.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever asked me for dung.
Have they not?
In this sense.
It's about time they did.
Well, so what's your plan? What are you going to do with all this dung?
We're going to make biogas from it.
Right, let's go get some poo then, eh?
This door is shut properly, isn't it?
Collecting methane-rich lion poo is a dangerous business. Ian's taking us to an area behind a fence, but even here the lions can swipe at you.
But we've still got to be aware of that fence, because it's big holes on the fence.
Oh yeah, they're sort of 6 inches square.
Don't go right close to the fence.
So they could get their arm through
and paws through and do a lot of damage.
Let's have that little bad boy then.
Man Friday, Will, gets the shit-shoveling job.
It doesn't. I thought it was going to look a bit more sticky. That one's quite dry.
It's quite
You've got to watch for, as I explained, these look.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's what you've got to be wary of.
Ah, look at her. Yeah, she's stalking us.
She's got that face on, hasn't she?
She could put her arm through like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Come back away from the fence.
While we're hunting their poo, these big cats start hunting us. Fresh and wild. The best poo's dangerously close to the fence. We've got to get it before they get us. Go on, I dare you, Will, with the long arm of the shovel, quick.
How long's their strike?
I reckon that must have been her bit you've just taken.
Is this yours in here?
Hello. Hello. How much have we got in there, do you reckon?
I'd say about 10 kilos. We've survived and have a massive haul of the meatiest poo in the animal kingdom. Back at the cabin, Will gets the short straw. And adds the lion's super poo to my biogas system. If this doesn't get the cooking gas flowing, nothing will. After a fortnight stewing, it's time to see if the lion human poo cocktail has produced enough gas to cook on. Look at this. That's risen a foot.
Yeah, you reckon?
That is about a third of a cubic metre.
Have a little whiff.
Oh, yes. That smells ready to burn. We've made nearly 300 litres of gas, and I've devised a little test to see if it's clean-burning methane.
Right.
Put that underneath,
Yes.
that in the water. We should see it bubble up, yeah?
Yeah. Let's see how much it's doing.
I know it smells right, but this might just be carbon dioxide. It could be any number of gases.
Yeah.
It might not be methane. Oh, my good Lord.
It's actually lifting lighter than air.
Way!
Whoa.
That stuff that came out that tube, that was potent. Whoa! Hurrah for poo power. This is a defining moment in the evolution of my shed. I can now feed myself off-grid and stay here as long as I want.
It's a light, Kevin.
Good. In which case, get the pan on it. The celebratory crap Suzette is in order. This is off-grid cooking in style. This is, absolutely. All the things in the world you might like to learn to make, you might include a piece of furniture, a model aeroplane. You wouldn't necessarily want to set out, would you, to make gas? But that's what we've done. We've made fuel as powerful as its fossil fuel equivalent, and you can't say that very often.
Go for a bit more.
No, really good. That was powerful. It was as powerful as the methane you get out of your gas pipe. Every time you fart, just think of the wasted potential there. Next on my cabin build, I discover a fiendishly clever magnetic fishing method to find parts for my comfy chair.
We might be able to use that.
And in order to stay overnight, I try to make a waterbed out of corn flour. Memory foam. I'm transforming my wooden cabin into a comfortable home using some devilishly clever off-grid technology. Oh, yes. So far, I've built a biodigester to make gas to cook on. Whoa! And I'm attempting to repurpose a rusty tractor into a designer reclining chair. Gosh, that's beautiful. We've roughly assembled the chair frame and now need to work on the reclining mechanism. I'm hoping that my chair collaborator, inventive scrap designer Paul Furbank, can help.
You got enough leg room there?
Yeah, I'm all right, The reclining mechanism needs some extra parts, and engineer Paul thinks we'll find them at the bottom of a canal. It's really dodgy. What's this?
It's a box of magnets. Fishing for scrap metal.
Do you do this regularly?
Yep. Surprising how much steel and iron is in the bottom of canals.
There's 150 years of Britain's industrial history hidden in our waterways, but Paul gets his mitts on it using his magnet fishing technique. It's mooring pen. Beautiful object.
Good find. We might be able to use that on the chair.
This is a lot more fun than fishing. Make a lot more noise, and you don't have to wait for anything to bite. What you got? What's that? Is that a bolt?
Some big old bolt, yeah.
Lovely. That's a criminal weapon.
You thought you'd find more handguns and knives in Canal in Hackney, but...
He said that, not me. What's that? Look at that. Oh, no, it's gone. That was an Amstrad 64 as well. Predictably, Paul's got an amazing shed of his own.
It's all a little bit tight, isn't it?
And it's here that we're going to transform my chair into a comfy recliner. The thing I love about your shed, Paul, is it's like every shed is a place of the imagination. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that your imagination is slightly warped.
Thank you.
While Paul fixes my original tractor parts together, he sets me to work cleaning and prepping the canal scrap. This salvaged piece of rubbish from the canal is going to be the essential drawbar in the reclining mechanism. Correct?
Yep, correct.
Correct. What a beautiful thing.
It's got a lovely texture on it.
Paul's devised an ingenious mechanism that'll use these scrap canal parts to wind the back of the chair up and down.
That's not bad at all, is it?
It's good.
Perfect.
It's good.
And our wheels still roll, and everything's nice and tight.
Lovely. This chair is 95% X-tractor and 5% X-canal. This is art, this is sculpture, this is mind-bending bits of weird engineering. This is creativity. So this handle now turns the jack, and what we should see is the wheel rolling back. And as the wheel rolls back, so against this arm, the back becomes more vertical. Love it. I think it's one of the most exciting things I've ever been involved with. This used to be a working tractor, and look at it now. It's kind of reincarnated as this kind of weird, wonderful, powerful object. What item could be better to put on the porch of the shed? With the mechanism sorted, thanks to Paul, my dreamy designer recliner now needs upholstery for comfort. Not that it should be any ordinary upholstery. I could weave a fabric, but I want to use something much more durable and appropriate for an agricultural chair. Leather. It's a timeless material with beautiful tactile qualities, and it'll last a lifetime. I don't know how difficult it is to make leather. I've never made leather before. I don't know how to do it. You need a skin of an animal, obviously. And one thing I do know is that when deer, rabbits, anything else is killed in this country, the skin is generally considered to be waste. It's buried. So, for my leather seat, I have to use an animal's skin that would have been thrown away. Heading off to see a bloke called Tim, who culls deer. The deer he shoots are used for their meat. The rest of the animal, you know, the skin, the hooves, the horns, tend to be ground up and used for dog food or fertilizer. For good or ill, I've decided to be responsible for sourcing all my cabin's materials. So that means not shirking the need to kill an animal for its hide. I've never enjoyed killing things, so I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy today. I don't spend my weekends with a 12 ball. The deer numbers in this local wood are controlled by Tim Davies.
Unless the meat becomes contaminated in some way, it's going to go into the food chain.
And what about
I
the
wouldn't want to
skin?
be shooting it. The skin is different. Unfortunately, most of the time the skin is wasted, which seems an awful waste to me.
Yeah.
So if somebody starts utilising that in a better way, it's got to be 100%, doesn't it?
The deer are going to be culled anyway, and the meat sent to the butchers. I'll be saving the hide from being dumped. Tim has trained me to do it humanely.
It's ready to fire, OK? Watch these other ones now walking through. If it stops on that top, that's the time to try and take a shot. That one at the end. That was a killing shot.
The moment I'd shot her, I couldn't speak. Too powerful, too emotional. Quite upset, really. But hey, you know, I had chicken for lunch. So the middle of the skin will be the centre of the back, effectively, yeah. Now I need to delicately remove the hide. Ultimately, it comes down to the fact that every human being on the planet has a really big impact on the rest of the planet, and we demand a great deal and we take a great deal from it, and we take the lives of other creatures for it, whether we want to or not, all the time. This majestic skin will not be going to the incinerator or a hole in the ground. I'll be tanning it, and for this, I'll need the head. Come on, you beautiful creature. Tanning is the process of turning an animal's skin into long-lasting and durable leather. While modern methods rely on toxic chemical mixtures, our ingenious ancestors used everything from egg yolks, pigeon droppings, and tree bark to tan their hides. To produce the very finest leather, it was said that the animal's own brain, mushed up in water, would provide the best tanning agent. James Watson is one of the very few experts in the country who still use the brain tanning process. I've got the skin and I've got the head. He brain tans his own clothes using techniques he learnt from North American Indians.
We actually use the brains of the animal to soften the hide.
I scrape off the fat layer and dip the hide into charcoal solution to remove the fur.
Sometimes you can just rub the hair off with a cloth.
Just literally, just pull straight off. I want to do as much as I can with my own hands, so I'm extracting the brain myself. You say that there's enough brain in one deer to tan one skin. So it comes with its own ingredients.
It does.
It's not for the squeamish.
For me, it's a natural thing.
The brain is mashed in water. It's foaming like a soapy mixture. This then allows the brain's oils and proteins to be absorbed into the hide, making it more pliable. That's beginning to work, yeah. Yeah, I can feel that sort of beginning to feel already like it's meant to.
Put it through that hole, over the top, through the next hole.
It's then stretched and hand-worked for hours on end to produce ultra-soft buckskin. We started with a herd of animals in a wood, and we ended up with this. This is the most beautiful thing. Is soft and is going to make, I believe, something really comfortable. The whole thing speaks of quality, really, and cleverness and value. Value. my cabin in the woods won't be a home until I've slept there in comfort. I want it to be a place where I could live full-time, very happily, actually. That's the sort of test, but with the very minimum that's necessary. I do not want it to be camping. I do not want it to be caravanning. A proper cabin in the woods, yeah. I need a bed, and of course I'm going to make it from scratch, inspired by a madcap inventor. In 1960s America, waterbeds were the height of cool. But one inventor called Charles Hall took things further, devising a weird cornflour and water bed filling that was both solid and liquid at the same time. He believed this strange homemade mattress material, which could mold itself to the body's shape, might provide the ultimate in sleeping comfort.
So, you're spending the night in the shed tonight, eh?
Nobody knows the exact recipe for the waterbed filling, but one thing that's easy to come by in this area is cornflour. So with Kev the pipe, I'm going to try and reformulate it. Do we just literally tip it into the water?
I think we do.
So is the idea that if you stood on it, you'd sink in?
It's almost like a liquid, and as soon as you apply pressure, it solidifies.
Right. We keep adding more and more cornflour to the water until our liquid mix truly does become solid. Then liquid again. Weirdness itself. Look, I can pull it away from the wall. Look at this. Look, look, look. Yeah, as a solid. Like, look, you can see that as though it's kind of... then watch. Oh, it goes liquid again. If I put one hand in, I should be able to take it right down, yeah? At the same time, I should... Yeah. I can't...
There's no way.
This is a sort of primitive memory foam. If I'm going to sleep on this stuff, I need to know it'll take my weight. Ready?
Yeah. Wow. Don't tip the bucket over.
Oh! Woo-hoo-hoo! This is unbelievably good, but it weighs a ton. I want to give the stuff a trial run in a heavy-duty, airtight bag. Let's tip! Before I even think of putting it anywhere near my shed. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, that's really heavy.
Yeah. So the question is this
comfortable?
Memory foam. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I've got a hernia.
That's that, then.
Right, that is that, because I do not want that happening on my shed floor.
No.
In the middle of the night. Even if I could contain this ooze in a waterbed, I've calculated that the quantity I'd need would be so heavy it would need a military-grade steel bed frame. Oh, God, look, it's going everywhere. It's something of a disappointment. It all looked so promising. All the ingenuity in the world can sometimes be beaten by the simplest and time-proven of ideas. So, it's plan B for my bed. Willow weaver Chris Beck will show me how to make it from the natural materials that connect me to this area. Why not go to the trouble of trying to make it from scratch, or look for that solution which is just a little bit more clever? Because in the end, I think the rewards and the pleasure from doing that are infinitely greater. This woven willow should form a woodland-sprung bed frame. Can you see it springing? You see that?
Yeah.
The whole thing is like a beautiful, complex woven spring. It just gives. Oh, that's lovely. After 9 months, the time has finally come when I'm going to kip in my cabin. It's a rather special moment for me. The willow bed comes into its own. They say, don't they, that a hearth makes the home. But, of course, until you've got a bed in it, it's not really a place to live, is it? Spending a night here, this is what it was all about. I couldn't wish for nicer than this. I think this might be the most significant moment in the history of this project. The moment in which I fall asleep. Tell you what, though. You can bugger off, and I'll see you in the morning. My little cabin has taken me on a 9-month adventure of craftsmanship, recycling, and repurposing whatever I can get my mitts on. Our ingenious bid to turn bits of tractor into a comfortable chair is going surprisingly well. I like to think that everything that's going into this project is going to last for decades and be with me when I pop my clogs. I'm bringing the chair home with a local mate, renowned leather designer Bill Amberg. We're going to fix the leather into place. Oh,
look at that. What a fit.
Bill's designed a simple seat and back from the buckskin, reinforced and laced with rawhide.
Start by pushing loops through, gathering a loop and then tying it off at the bottom.
Bill's using untreated strips of my deerskin to fix it in. It's like bacon rind.
Not a great deal different.
It's the same thing, different animal.
Yeah.
Just like doing a tent.
Here we go, look.
Yeah, look at that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There you go. How's that? Right, now we're in business.
I have been making things, designing things for 30-odd years, and it is actually quite rare when something comes together that it is as good as you imagined it to be. And it's extremely rare that it's better. And this is better. This is
great.
Astonishing.
Ta-da! Oh, lovely job. Ooh. How's that? Ooh. It's nice, isn't it? All right.
I love it. Now for the moment I've waited for, seeing this amazing machine recline.
Look at that. Look at the angle on that. That's a whole new world of comfort. You've got to get your arse forward and just generally. That's it.
That's about that.
Oh, now you go to sleep now.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, hello.
Wow. Fundamentally, this is one old bit of machinery that was going to the scrap heap and one animal that was culled, and the skin was going to be buried in the ground. So how, out of that junk and out of that waste comes extraordinary power and beauty and experience and originality, the likes of which you just couldn't imagine. Finally, my cabin has been transformed from an empty shell to a home in the woods. It's a great milestone. Oh, yes. Now, my toilet creates gas on which to cook hot meals whenever I want. This is off-grid cooking in style. I've got a beautiful handmade bed. And a chair to recline in and enjoy the view. It's nice, isn't it? Oh, yeah. But there's one thing a true home can't be without. Some friends. And I have a plan to introduce everyone who's helped me to all the off-grid comforts of my cabin. Maybe what we need is a poo party. And it said on the invitation, DNHADBF. Do not have a dump beforehand. We could generate all the gas needed for the event. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I just have to point out this beautiful chair, which is the most amazing object. For the rare privilege of sitting on this beautiful seat, I'm prepared to trade another experience. If you sit on this one, you have to go and sit on another throne of another kind, connected to the biodigester. And I don't know how to put this, but I'm hoping you'll be able to make a contribution to the biodigester. And in order to help things along, I've got some bran flakes. Just like little mini pizzas, that kind of thing. And just in case you need that as well, do pass those round. And any contribution gratefully received.
Remarkably comfortable, isn't it? Very nice indeed.
I don't really need these.
Too much information.
Oh, you could sleep here.
That's really comfortable. You happy with it? I'm blown away by it.
Quite nice, actually. Poo with a view.
Have you got enough paper? I cannot believe that now I'm here and there's a floor and there's a bed and there's decoration and there's comfort and there's warmth and there's insulation and there's light and there's a chair on the veranda and it's like, you know, I'm almost there. It's actually enormously comfortable now. To prove how efficient off-grid cooking gas can be, Will's putting the finishing touches to a little culinary spectacle. It's nice, coming on nicely, the crackling. Thank you all for coming, by the way. We sort of found ourselves looking back, realising that nothing would have been possible without setting fire to something and some form of poo. Cheers. Cheers. That's what I call biogas.
I don't think I want to poo in a bucket to generate my own fuel all the time. I think it's a lot of pressure. But no, it's fantastic.
Anything that can sort of A, save you money and B, be sustainable, I think is definitely the right way.
It's beautiful.
This is how the future should be, really.
It's become what I wanted, which is the retreat. It's no longer a building site. It's no longer a project. It's a place to live. good, isn't it? Next on my cabin project...
You are a madman!
I'm adding some ingenious off-grid luxury. We have to do this. What a giant... It's a bit big, actually. What's that? It's hot!
2, 1. Trading in a life on the water for a very grand design, Kevin McCloud is back on Wednesday at 9. But next, will Carrie be drawn back into the chase, and whose side is Brodie really on? Too many questions. Let's start searching for the answers next year on 4 in the brand new series of Homeland.